Supernatural double feature. Hey guys, B. West Jr. from Endurance Productions, here to do a little movie review double feature on a DVD double pack that I picked up recently at Big Lots, one of my favorite stores nowadays. I think I've seen, let me give a little quick shout to Pizzel out there. He's got the same, I think I first saw it on one of his Big Lots DVD updates. Pizzel out there, Supernatural double pack. I finally found it at my local Big Lots. I got the last copy, as a matter of fact. $6, $3 a picture, so can't beat it. 2 Wes Craven films that I want to talk about today. Okay, folks, the 2 films in the Supernatural double pack, as they call it, are The People Under the Stairs and Shocker, both by horror director Wes Craven. Folks, let me tell you a little background behind these 2 movies. Up until this point of owning this DVD double pack, I've only seen these 2 movies one time, and it was the one time right after they came out, either on video or in the movies. I saw The People Under the Stairs on video cassette one time. I believe that was around 1991-92 era. And Shocker I saw in the movie theaters when it was released, I believe in 1989. Don't quote me, I'll check on that. I saw them both the one time, both released by Live Films with Wes Craven directing. Folks, these movies, they never really stuck well with me for some reason. They kind of flew under the radar. I watched them. I remember enjoying them slightly, but they never really stuck with me, and I never bought them on VHS, and until now never owned them on DVD. After sitting down on an afternoon after buying these, I watched them in a double feature format. I just watched them back to back. I had a little time on my hands, so I watched them. Give them a fair viewing so I could talk about them today. I finally think it's came clear all these years later why they never really stuck with me as well. They're not, first and foremost, they're not Wes Craven's best films in my opinion. They're not the pinnacle that is Wes Craven in his creativity. But folks, I gotta be honest, they're kind of like experimental films for Wes Craven in my opinion. The main reason why they didn't stick, it came very clear, folks. Let me just say before I separate these out too and talk about them separately, the main con against both of these movies in my opinion, they're overlong. If they could somehow truncate these things, chop them down about a solid 20 minutes running time, both for People Under the Stairs and Shocker, these movies would flow a little bit better. They would not only feel a little more coherent, but they would just have a better running time or something. That would just help it flow a lot better, I would think. The People Under the Stairs and Shocker, People Under the Stairs has a running time, and the reason why I say this, it has a running time of 1 hour and 45 minutes, and the Shocker film has 1 hour and 50 minutes. So if they could kind of gotten it down to about a 90-minute running time, I think it would have flowed a little bit better, and it probably would have stuck with me better. I don't know. It's just something that I just felt like saying about it. It's kind of my feelings on it. Let's get into the movies themselves and talk about the stories a little bit, and then we'll run over the DVD features. The People Under the Stairs. I'll just take it first because that's the one I watched first. There again, not my favorite Wes Craven film. It was a little, like I say, a little more experimental for Wes Craven. It takes place around a young boy who's living in a rough part of town, and in order to get some money to help his mother and family out, he decides to go rob the rich landlord. He takes his buddy Ving Rhames with him in an earlier role. They go to burglarize the house basically, and they find that this house has more than what it seems. It's the landlord and his wife, who they think is his wife, but it's actually his sister. They're very, very crazy, very, very deranged people, and they kidnap young children to keep as their own. And they have this house so fortified on the inside that no children has ever seen the outside, and they keep a collection of all the boy children down in the basement under the stairs. And it's just about all the craziness that goes on behind the scenes. This guy, the landlord, he dresses up in this head-to-toe leather suit and wields a shotgun and literally just goes through the house blasting holes in the 12-gauge holes in the sides of the walls trying to find the young boy who's being helped by their captive daughter at that time. And It's just about all his trials and tribulations trying to get out of this place and ultimately expose these crazy people to the neighborhood. It's just such a kind of a wild, off-the-wall story. I think it was a little bit ahead of its time maybe back then, and it wasn't as well received as it should have been. To watch it now, it's just great for a laugh. I mean, I'm glad I own it for $3. I mean, I could sit there and own it for $3 and laugh all day at it. I mean, some of the parts, this little kid runs out of the grate, runs out of an air conditioning grate, punches the bad guy right in the balls, and just like says something cool and runs off again. And he keeps doing this same. He's a tough little kid, and that's what I really liked about the movie. And that's what I take away from it the best. Sad to report, and I'll go ahead and say this for both of them. People Under the Stairs and Shocker, these are both bare-bone edition DVDs. I believe they may have some multiple language tracks and some theatrical trailers on them. They look and sound okay. They're both in widescreen format, but for $3 a piece, folks, can't beat it. Let's move right on into Shocker here, folks. Probably my favorite of the two, mainly because I just like the story, and I gotta say, my main reason for liking Shocker, it's not my favorite Wes Craven film again, and it suffers from a little bit of campiness in it, but that's also one of its pros, I think. It's kind of a flip side of the coin. I think you can see it's one of my favorite. I'm looking for the movie poster right now for Shocker because the movie's not my favorite, but the movie poster is always that image of good old Mitch Pileggi sitting in that old electric chair getting fried with that wild look on his face. He plays such a wild part in that movie. You could never. I think a lot of people don't realize he's assistant director Skinner from all those seasons of the X-Files. He was Mulder's boss in that show. It's a wild little poster image there. Shocker's story centers around Peter Berg, who has moved on to become a director, and he's a decent director in his own right, in my opinion. It's a story that centers around serial killer Horace Pinker, Mitch Pileggi, who kills his foster family, or most or all of his foster family and his girlfriend. And it's about, he has sort of like a psychic ability to know where Pinker's going to be, and Pinker gets electrocuted, but he's also into some kind of voodoo black magic or something. He uses that to become one with like an electrical force or something of that nature. I don't quite understand it even to today after a second viewing. I guess I'll need a third viewing to understand it more, but basically he's able to go be at one with electricity and kind of use the electricity waves to travel in and out of homes and things of that nature. I think Wes Craven was trying to experiment a little bit with different special effects in this movie, because that's the main showcase of Shocker, is the main ending where they're jumping in and out of the different TV stations and all that stuff, and don't want to really ruin it, but if there again, sort of like People Under the Stairs and maybe even the prior review I did on Tales from the Crypt, or some of those type of movies, get them out, on friend night. Get you some brew, some pizza, whatever. Stick it in, have a good old time. It's kind of like a retro movie now, if you will. Get in there and watch it. It's a pretty decent flick. There again, not too much in the ways of special features. My favorite parts, there again, are probably where they're jumping in and out of the TV station, and where the guy has the remote control and he's like fast forwarding and pausing Horace Pinker and stuff like that. I don't know, it's kind of hokey, kind of campy, but best parts of the movie are with Mitch Pileggi doing that outlandish Horace Pinker role. I don't know. Not the best day of Wes Craven's career probably, in my opinion, but some standard little, just some good little under the radar suspense thrillers. I don't know how you would classify them. They're not hardcore horror movies, but definitely check them out. If you can find this Supernatural double pack, pick it up if you like. It's cheap. I highly recommend it. Take care, folks. I'm going to get out of here for now. This has been Endurance Productions. We'll catch you next time.